Kakadosh Bokaror, we're just continuing with the halachot. We spoke about yesterday, Shloshet Yemei Hagbala, which is going to be the 3 days before Shavuot, and how the importance of what it is, that if a person is going to excel in learning the Torah and Yirat Shamayim, he's going to have Atzlacha throughout the entire year as well. There's a very interesting question that people ask, why is Shavuot only 1 day? So we know that Pesach and Sukkot is going to be different. There's a Sifri that says a beautiful idea. He says Pesach and Sukkot were not during the time of a working season. So therefore, HaKadosh Baruch Hu made it that one's going to be 7 days, one's going to be 8 days. So Shavuot was in the middle of the working season. So since Shavuot was in the middle of the working season, HaKadosh Baruch Hu was Chas al Mamonan Shel Yisrael, and therefore he only made it 1 day. Even though, if you pay attention, it actually comes out that the 1 day of Shavuot has the power of the 7 or 8 days of Chag. Just like by Yilchot Avelut Bar Minan, what happens is, if a person passes away, the Chag cuts off the Avelut. So too Shavuot, even if it's going to be 1 day, in Chutz La'aretz we do 2 days, but even if it's going to be 1 day, it's also going to cut off the Avelut. What is the reason why it is called Shavuot? So everybody knows the famous reason, Shavuot, because of the Shavuot. Shiva Shavuot is Polach, you have to count 7 weeks, and then you have Shavuot. However, the rabbis come and they say there's another 2 reasons brought down, because it's also called Chag HaShavuot. Shavuot, not Shavuot milashon Shavua, of weeks, but rather of vows, of oaths. He said there were 2 different vows that took place on Shavuot. One of them was the vow that we took, that when we came in we said Na'aseh v'nishma, and the other one was the vow of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that he said that he's not going to change us for another nation. And even though in the future the other Chagim are going to become Batel, the Chag Shavuot will never become Batel. Why will Chag Shavuot never become Batel? Because just like the Torah is for eternity, so too the Chag Shavuot, when we accept the Torah, is going to be also for eternity. The power of Chag Shavuot is so important because usually we know if a person comes and they have a bad dream, they would have to fast. And even they would fast on Shabbat. Then they would have to fast again because they fasted on Shabbat, but they're obligated to fast on Shabbat. On Shavuot, if a person has a bad dream, he does not fast. Why doesn't he fast? Because the power of the Torah is going to annul any type of bad dreams. And therefore, that's why the Gemara says that there was a rabbi that he came and he would sit in Ta'anit for a Chalom Ra, except for Shavuot. Shavuot is the only time that you will not come and you will not fast for such a thing. We know that Ezra Sofer was mitaken, right? That he comes and he says that we're going to call the klalot, we're going to read them right before Shavuot, and we're going to finish beforehand. Why? Tichle shana v'kilulotea. We want that it should be all the bad things should finish beforehand. So there was one of the big rabbis, the Shlach Kadosh B'Gzan also, one of the big rabbis that they said, I'm more afraid of Shavuot than Rosh Hashanah. He says, why? Rosh Hashanah, they're going to decree about a parnasah. But okay, fine. If a parnasah didn't go as best, fine. He says Shavuot is going to be the decree on the spiritual matters. He says they are more afraid about what they're going to make a decree on spiritual matters more than what's going to happen on Rosh Hashanah. So imagine what it is, the power of Shavuot. It's also called a tzeret. The rabbis say it's a tzeret because at the end of the day, we stop from doing melacha. That's the only thing which is going to be nikar, right, recognizable of what a person is doing, because all the other chagim, you have something to show the chag. Shavuot, you don't. So therefore, obviously, it's going to happen, right, that you have the concept of a tzeret, that you just don't do melacha. That's what we do on Chag Shavuot.